Are you tired of chasing those fleeting moments of confidence? That temporary high from a new achievement or a compliment, only to feel empty and insecure again when the praise fades? If so, you're definitely not alone. This cycle of seeking external validation can feel like you're on a hamster wheel, constantly striving for the next win or the next nod of approval, but never truly feeling secure in who you are. Your confidence becomes fragile, easily shattered by a single criticism or a minor failure. It's a reactive way to live, dependent on a world you can't control, and it leaves you exhausted, anxious, and unsure of your own worth. But what if you could build a different kind of confidence? One that isn't given to you by others, but forged by you, for you. What if you could build an inner fortress of calm that no external event, no opinion, no success, and no failure can topple? This isn't a fantasy, it's the promise of Stoic philosophy. The ancient Stoics mastered the art of building this inner resilience. They knew that true, unwavering confidence doesn't come from what we achieve, but from how we think. It's not about what happens to us, but how we choose to respond. Today, we're going to unlock the practical power of this philosophy. We'll show you 5 potent, time-tested exercises from the ancient Stoic masters. These are actionable techniques designed to help you build a foundation of genuine self-reliance and unshakable inner peace. It's time to stop chasing confidence and start building it from the ground up. Section 1. The dichotomy of control. Forging your inner citadel. Let's start with the pillar upon which all Stoic confidence is built. It's a simple idea with a profound impact, and once you truly grasp it, it can fundamentally change your experience of life. It's called the dichotomy of control. The philosopher Epictetus laid it out with perfect clarity in his handbook. He wrote, "Of the things that exist, some are within our control, and others are not. Within our control are opinion, aspiration, desire, aversion, and, in short, whatever are our own actions. Not within our control are body, property, reputation, employment, and, in short, whatever are not our own actions." Think about that for a moment. Epictetus is giving us a universal filter for life. He's telling us that every situation, from a traffic jam to a job interview, can be sorted into 2 categories. Things you have complete power over, and things you have none over. So, what's actually in our power? Our thoughts, our judgments, our choices, and the effort we decide to put in. That's pretty much it. And what's outside our power? Almost everything else. The weather, the economy, what other people think of you, the final outcome of your efforts, and even your own body. To a large extent, modern life conditions us to do the exact opposite of what Epictetus advises. We spend most of our energy fixated on things we can't control. We worry about what a boss thinks. We get anxious about a future that may or may not happen. We tie our self-worth to likes and comments from strangers. This is a blueprint for fragile confidence because you're anchoring your sense of self to a chaotic, unpredictable world. You're essentially handing the keys to your well-being to everyone and everything but yourself. The Stoic exercise, then, is to constantly and consciously apply this filter. It's an active, daily mental habit. So, how does this work in practice? Throughout your day, anytime you feel anxious, frustrated, or doubtful, just pause, take a breath, and ask yourself, in this situation, what is within my control and what is not? Let's take a common example. You have to give an important presentation. The anxious mind immediately jumps to the what if they think my ideas are stupid? What if I stumble over my words? What if I don't get the promotion? This thinking leads straight to a confidence collapse because you're focused entirely on outcomes and opinions that belong to others. Now, let's apply the Stoic filter. What can you actually control? You can control how thoroughly you research your material. You can control the effort you put into practicing your delivery. You can control the choice to get a good night's sleep. You can control your mindset, choosing to focus on delivering value rather than seeking approval. And most importantly, you can control your judgment about the event, seeing it as a chance to practice courage rather than a trial where your worth is on the line. This is how bulletproof confidence is built. It's the deep, quiet certainty that comes from knowing you've done everything in your power to the best of your ability. The outcome becomes irrelevant to your self-worth. Whether you get a standing ovation or blank stares, your confidence stays intact because it was never based on the applause. It was based on your effort and your character in action, the things that are truly yours. As the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. By consistently sorting your concerns this way, you're building an inner citadel. You stop being a puppet jerked around by external events and become the master of your own mind. This isn't about apathy. It's about strategic action. You pour your energy into what you can influence your own thoughts and actions, and cultivate a calm acceptance of all that you can't. So, here's a reflective question. The next time your confidence wavers, what is one thing you're worrying about that's outside your control, and what is one action or thought within your control that you can focus on instead? Section 2. Premeditatio malorum, rehearsing for adversity. Now that we understand where to focus our energy, Let's move to an exercise that might sound a bit morbid at first, but is one of the most powerful tools for building resilience. The Stoics called it premeditatio malorum, which translates to the premeditation of evils, or what we might call negative visualization. The philosopher Seneca explained the logic perfectly. He robs present ills of their power who has perceived their coming beforehand. What he means is that the biggest shock to our confidence comes from being caught unprepared. We're most fragile when we're surprised. If we assume life will always be smooth sailing, the first storm sends us into a panic. Premeditation is the deliberate act of imagining things going wrong. This is not the same as anxious worrying. Worrying is picturing a negative future and feeling helpless. This exercise is picturing that same future and calmly rehearsing your response, reminding yourself that you have the resources to handle it. It's a dress rehearsal for adversity. And to be clear, the goal isn't to become a pessimist. The paradoxical result is actually a profound sense of gratitude and a major boost in confidence. Here's how to do it. Each morning, set aside a few minutes to reflect on the day ahead and consider what could go wrong. Or think about your life more broadly and contemplate the loss of things you value. You can start small. Imagine spilling coffee on your shirt before a big meeting. Your car won't start. A project gets a negative review. Instead of letting these thoughts create anxiety, calmly walk through them. If I spill coffee, I'll apologize, maybe make a joke, and focus on the meeting's substance, not my shirt. If my car doesn't start, I'll call a rideshare and notify people. I'll be late. I'll handle it. You're not just anticipating the problem. You're visualizing your rational response. Then, you can practice on a larger scale. Take a moment to imagine what life would be like without something you deeply value: a job, a cherished relationship, your health. This is where two things happen. First, this practice cultivates immense gratitude for what you have right now. The simple joy of a stable job or the gift of a healthy body often fade into the background. By mentally removing them, their value comes rushing back. A grateful person isn't easily shaken by minor setbacks. Second, and more importantly for our topic, this exercise desensitizes you to fear. The fear of failure, loss, or embarrassment are huge enemies of confidence. By visiting worst-case scenarios in your mind, you rob them of their power. You look the monster in the eye and realize you can handle it. You might think, if I lost my job, what would I do? And you'd calmly reason it would be hard. But then, I'd update my resume, reach out to my network, assess my finances. I would adapt. I would endure. Seneca noted that we often suffer more in imagination than in reality. This exercise flips that on its head. By preparing for adversity, you develop a quiet confidence in your own resilience. Your confidence is no longer dependent on things going perfectly. It's rooted in the knowledge that even if things fall apart, you will not. You've rehearsed for this. So, here's a reflective question for you. What is one potential failure you're avoiding thinking about? Take a moment to visualize it, and then calmly walk yourself through how you would step by step begin to respond. Section 3. The view from above. Dissolving the ego. We've learned to focus on what we control and to prepare for what we don't. Now, let's try a third exercise designed to shrink our anxieties by putting them into cosmic perspective. The Stoics called it the view from above. Imagine you're stuck in traffic, fuming, or maybe you're agonizing over an awkward social interaction. The feeling is all-consuming. Your world shrinks down to this single, frustrating problem. It feels huge. This is our default perspective, narrow and self-centered. The view from above is a visualization technique that reverses this. It's a mental journey to detach you from the heat of the moment by connecting you to the vastness of space and time. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius practiced this constantly to maintain his composure. He wrote in his journal, Meditations, how tiny a fragment of boundless and abysmal time has been appointed to each man, and on how tiny a clod of the whole earth do you crawl. This isn't meant to make you feel negatively insignificant. On the contrary, its purpose is to grant you tranquility by liberating you from the tyranny of your own ego. Here's how to practice it. You can do this as a 10-minute meditation or a quick 2-minute reset during a stressful moment. Close your eyes and start to visualize. First, picture yourself from a third-person perspective, as if you're floating on the ceiling looking down. Now, begin to ascend. Float higher, seeing the entire building, then the street, the neighborhood. Keep rising until your whole city is spread out beneath you like a map. The anger you felt in traffic just a moment ago seems pretty trivial from this height. Continue your ascent. Rise higher until you see the curve of the earth. Watch the continents drift by, the swirling clouds and deep blue oceans. From here, where is the office where you had that embarrassing moment? It's vanished into the hole. Now float further out. See the earth as a pale blue dot suspended in the silent emptiness of space. Then zoom out beyond our galaxy, the Milky Way, into a sea of billions of other galaxies. Finally, consider time. Think of the endless stretch of history that came before you and the future that will unfold long after you're gone. Your own lifespan is just a blink in this cosmic timeline. From this ultimate perspective, look back at the problem that was consuming you. What's happened to it? It has all but dissolved. Your personal anxieties and frustrations are revealed to be infinitesimally small. So how does this build confidence? Confidence is often destroyed by an overinflated ego. We think our problems are the biggest problems and our failures are catastrophic. The view from above is the perfect antidote. It shows you that most things we worry about just don't matter on a grand scale. This drains the emotional charge from stressful situations, allowing you to approach them with a calm, rational mind. It also fosters a confidence based on connection, reminding you that you're part of a much larger whole. So here's a reflective question. Think of a current worry that feels heavy. Now, try the view from above, even for just 2 minutes. How does your perception of that worry change when viewed from the perspective of the cosmos? Section 4. The Philosophical Journal, your inner dialogue with wisdom. We've worked on our focus, resilience, and perspective. Now, we turn to the most important practical habit for integrating all of this into your life, the Philosophical Journal. This isn't a diary for venting. It's a private gym for your minder place for self-examination, reflection, and rehearsal. The most famous example is Marcus Aurelius' Meditations. That book, which has guided leaders for centuries, was his personal journal, notes to himself on how to live a better, more tranquil life. Seneca also wrote about his evening practice of reviewing his day, asking what he did well, where he fell short, and how he could improve. The act of writing forces clarity. Chaotic thoughts in your head have to be structured on the page. In this process, you stop being a passive victim of your emotions and become an active architect of your inner world. So, how do you use a journal to build bulletproof confidence? It becomes your training ground for consistently reinforcing the Stoic mindset. The easiest way is a simple morning and evening routine. Consistency is far more important than volume. The morning journal. Preparing for the die-in. The morning, your journal is for preparation. Before the day throws its challenges at you, you set your own terms. Try these prompts. Rehearse the dichotomy of control. Write down your main task for the day. Then list what's in your control, your effort, your attitude, and what isn't. The outcome, others' reactions. Practice premeditatio malorum. Briefly note 1 or 2 things that might go wrong. Then write 1 sentence about how you'll respond with calm. For example, I might face unfair criticism. If so, I will listen without defensiveness and respond with reason. Set your intention, Epictetus advised. First, tell yourself what sort of man you want to be, then act accordingly. Write down what kind of person you intend to be today. Today, I will be patient, I will be courageous. This routine builds proactive confidence. You walk into your day with a blueprint for resilience. The evening journal, reviewing your performance in the evening. Your journal is for review, like a coach watching game tape. Ask yourself, conduct an honest review. Seneca's questions were, what did I do well today? What did I do wrong? What duty was left undone? Note a moment you acted on your principles and a moment you didn't. For example, I did well when I stayed calm in the tense meeting, and I fell short when I lost my temper in traffic. Extract the lesson. Don't beat yourself up for mistakes. The goal is learning. For the areas where you fell short, ask, what can I learn? How can I handle this better tomorrow? This reframes failure into a data point for growth. Practice gratitude, and by writing down a few things you're grateful for, especially things you might take for granted. This reinforces a stable, appreciative mindset. This daily practice builds self-trust. Your journal becomes undeniable proof of your progress. In your own handwriting, it proves you're capable of handling life because you're actively engaged in the work of becoming more resilient. Here's a reflective question. If you were to start a journal tonight, what is one thing from your day that you would analyze? What did you do well? Where could you improve? And what's the lesson for tomorrow? Section 5. Amor Fati. Learning to love your story. We've arrived at our final and perhaps most profound Stoic exercise. If the dichotomy of control is the foundation, this principle is the unbreakable roof protecting your inner citadel. It's known by a Latin phrase popularized by the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche, but its spirit is deeply Stoic. Amor Fati. It means a love of one's fate. Amor Fati is the practice of not just accepting or enduring what happens, the good, the bad, and the ugly, but embracing it. It's the radical idea that everything that happens, every setback and every twist of fate, is a necessary opportunity for growth. Marcus Aurelius expressed this when he wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This is the essence of Amor Fati. The obstacle isn't blocking the path. It is the path. This is a massive shift in perspective. Most of us live in a state of resistance to reality. We complain about our present, regret our past, and fear our future. This constant war is exhausting, and the single greatest drain on our confidence, Amor Fati, is the decision to stop fighting reality. How do you apply this? It's a continuous conscious of your life. Reframe past failures. Think of something you regret or see as a failure. Instead of wishing it away, ask yourself, how did that painful event shape who I am today? What strength did I develop because of it? What did I learn that I couldn't have learned any other way? You begin to see that removing that event would unravel the fabric of who you've become. Embrace present challenges when you face a new difficulty. The first instinct is often, why me? Amor Fati challenges you to ask, what is this trying to teach me? How can I use this to practice courage, resilience, or wisdom? You treat the event not as a catastrophe, but as a curriculum designed for your growth. How does this build the ultimate, bulletproof confidence? It makes you invincible. If you can learn to love whatever happens, what can possibly harm you? What can shake your confidence if you've decided that all events, positive and negative, are fuel? Confidence rooted in specific outcomes is fragile, but confidence rooted in the belief that you can grow from any outcome is indestructible. You're no longer hoping for a good hand in a card game. You're the master player who knows they can play any hand. They're dealt with skill and grace. You stop seeing life as things happening to you and start seeing it as a story happening for you. Here's your final reflective question. Consider a current challenge in your life. How would your feeling about it change if instead of resisting it, you chose to fully embrace it as a necessary and valuable part of your journey? Call to action. We've covered 5 of the most powerful mental tools ever devised for building inner strength. From focusing on what you control, to rehearsing for adversity, seeing the bigger picture, reflecting on your progress, and finally, loving your fate. These aren't quick fixes. They are a daily practice. True bulletproof confidence isn't a gift. It's a skill earned through consistent training. If these ideas resonated with you, consider liking this video and subscribing for more practical wisdom. And now, we want to hear from you. In the comments below, share which of these 5 exercises you're going to try this week. Is it the dichotomy of control, negative visualization, the view from above, journaling, or the radical acceptance of amor fati? Sharing your commitment is a powerful first step. Your journey to unshakable confidence starts today, not with a change in circumstance, but with a change in your mind. Conclusion. Let's quickly recap the arsenal you've just acquired. First, the dichotomy of control, teaching you to pour your energy into your own thoughts and actions. Second, premeditatio malorum, the practice of negative visualization that prepares you for adversity and dismantles fear. Third, the view from above, the cosmic perspective that shrinks your ego and anxieties. Fourth, the philosophical journal, your daily training ground for self-reflection and accountability. And finally, amor fati, the ultimate act of to love your fate and transforming every obstacle into strength. Stop chasing the fragile confidence that comes from the outside world. It's a game you can never truly win. Instead, commit to the inner work of building something no one can ever take from you, an inner citadel, a quiet certainty, a bulletproof confidence founded not on what you have, but on who you are choosing to become. As Epictetus said, seek not the good in external things, seek it in yourselves. The tools are in your hands. Now it's time to start building.